let me also ask about diversity, inclusion, and equity programs. You've had a few harsh words to say about those. The idea of diversity, I think, is a beautiful ideal. You've said that Harvard's idea of diversity is for everyone to look different and think alike.
Correct.
Can you elaborate?
And be comfortable.
And be comfortable.
Yeah. First of all, it is impossible, if liberal arts education is taken seriously, it's impossible for students to feel comfortable. Why? Because one of the roles of college is to challenge all the beliefs that they grew up with, which mostly are the beliefs inculcated by parents and by elementary school teachers. And the idea is to be able to challenge those thoughts, those ideas. And if you don't have free speech and academic freedom, those views get reified. They do not get challenged. So it violates the fundamental role of higher educational institutions to have any restrictions at all. That's number one. Number two, as I think I said earlier, if students are not allowed to be frank with one another, they don't really learn about one another. I've given a lot of lectures in which I have said, and I think students now understand it, I'm much more interested in hearing from the people who hate me than the people who love me. I'm much more interested in knowing who disagrees with me than people who agree with me. That's how I learn, and that's how they learn. The clash of ideas, which is the theory behind the First Amendment. That truth will somehow emerge, or if not truth, at least a better truth, a truer truth, a more useful truth, if ideas are allowed to clash.
Especially in the structure of a university where, at least I would say, there's some set of rules, some set of civility. I think I would rather read Mein Kampf to understand people that hate. There is also a quality to disagreement that we should strive for. And I think a university is a place where when disagreement and even hate is allowed, it's done in a high effort way.
Somebody asked me once about what books I would want to have as required reading in literature courses. And I listed Mein Kampf. And they were horrified. And I said, well, it's one of the most important books of the 20th century.
Yeah.
6 million Jews died, an enormous number of other people died because one guy wrote a book called Mein Kampf and took it seriously. It's one of the most important books ever written. How can an educated person not have at least breezed through Mein Kampf? And
it's not a great read, though.
It's not a great read. He was not a great writer, but you do get a sense for the sociopath that was Adolf Hitler.
Yes, because he really acted on the words that he wrote.
Yeah.
And it was there. And if people took that work seriously,
correct,
they would have understood.
It's one of the most important books of the 20th century. And it's politically incorrect to read it. It's crazy.